Today we will be going over developing a deliberate practice plan. Each instructional staff member will develop a deliberate practice plan based on FEEP standards 1, 2, 3, or 4. In MyPGS, you will find the Florida Educator Accomplished Practices rubric that can be used as a guide in selecting professional goals for your plan. The professional goals targeted in the deliberate practice plan should focus on the areas of growth for the plan developer and should be connected to the increased student achievement. The plan template and the progress update areas include several guiding questions that need to be addressed in the completion process of creating a deliberate practice. Deliberate practice plans are to be submitted to administration for approval on or before August 26th, and you will be required to complete 2 progress updates, one in December and one in April. In order to develop your plan, you will need to go to MyPGS and click on the My Evaluations tab. Please make sure you select the current teacher evaluation year, and then you will click on the Deliberate Practice Submit button to begin developing your plan. You will then select the FEEP standard that you would like to focus on from the pull-down menu in MyPGS. Here is where you will identify your focus area by selecting one of the 4 accomplished practices. You will then build your deliberate practice around the goal and standard that are associated with these critical skills and indicators. For example, if you choose FEEPS number 3, the instructional delivery and facilitation, you may want to focus on differentiated instruction. Then you will determine what your goal will be. The guiding question for this section is, what is the rationale for selecting this focus? So an example might be that you want to differentiate instruction based on identified student learning needs and assessment data. Here, you will determine if you need to upload any certain evidence showing the need of this area. For example, you may choose Tier 2 and Tier 3 data, reading levels, test history from students to determine what the need of your students is. Then, you will identify what professional development activities you will be utilizing to support this goal. For example, you could say participate in differentiated instruction professional development offered through MyPGS, participate in early release day professional development and district-led monthly PD. You may work with the coach on how to build groups in your classroom to provide differentiated assignments based on classroom assessments. You may implement formative assessments tied to your standards and use the results to make instructional decisions. Then you need to identify what you expect to learn from participating in these professional development opportunities. For example, you could say that you hope to gain a better understanding of differentiated strategies, implementing tiered groups, and utilizing formative assessments tied to standards to address gaps in understanding. And the most important part is the expected impact on student achievement. So how will your results be measured, and what measurable source of data will be used? So as a result of your work with differentiated instruction, students will show an increased mastery of standards on quarterly checks or unit assessments. You could also say common formative assessments. You could use the FAST testing data. And then your measurable goal is that at least 80% of students will pass the class with a C or better each quarter. And you may be tracking student engagement and on-task behavior. And this can be demonstrated through IPG walkthrough data. Once you've completed all of these steps, it'll be important to make sure you go in and click Submit your plan for admin approval. At that point, you will then create an opportunity to meet with your admin to review your deliberate practice and make sure there's nothing that needs to be adjusted. Once your deliberate practice has been approved, you will then implement your plan and come back to it in December and April to do your progress updates. Remember, to receive an effective rating on your deliberate practice, all steps in the process must be completed and submitted.